Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. We were supposed to be here together yesterday, which is my grandma's way of saying yesterday. God rest her soul. She'd be about 120 if she was alive. That was a bell of purpose. I'll explain. Here we are. First time in Imagine Studios. Yes, Imagine Studios. Imagine that. So happy to be here. Let me apologize for yesterday, first and foremost. Look at this. I got to get used to this new thing like this. This is what they're telling me to do now. Quit looking at the screen, Lauren. Just look at the camera. I'll tell you why. Big things coming up. So many wonderful things going on in the world today. Drop in the comments the thing you're most grateful for this morning. I want to know, and we need to share those kinds of things. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, although I wouldn't be able to tell what's going on out there because I'm underground now. No longer upstairs above terra firma with the show down here now. And I'm so excited because you know what? No matter where we are, the promise, in my opinion, one of the greatest of all times, is still in full effect. And that promise is that when you and I, when two or more of us come together in a like-minded spirit, something wonderful is going to happen. Yeah, there it is again. That's the bell of purpose. And with the new studio, I can show you guys what it looks like. I couldn't reach it on the last set. There it is. The official bell of purpose. What is it? Not some clever show gimmick or anything like that. It is actually a reminder for all of us that when you hear the bell ring, just like the bell, truth has a ring to it. And when I ring that bell, it's because I know we're busy people nowadays. A lot of things we're doing. We're multitasking. there is a new normal, so they tell us. So I just want to ring the bell to remind you, no matter what you're doing, to lean in, stand up, sit forward, listen. There's something out there that I think you're going to want to take with you. Can I get an amen? All righty then. So here we are. What do you think back there? Down here in Imagine Studios, you guys will get to see all of it over the next few weeks. 7 different sets. I got my own Universal Studios down here. 7 different sets around this space. I'm so excited to be here today. And we have a great guest with you. He actually is pretty much right around the corner from here. I didn't know that until today. His name is Michael T. We're going to find out what that T stands for. Mantzke. Man, can he ski? I just had to say that because what a great way to remember a name, right? Mnemonic device. Public school. I got a lot of them. So anyway, what is he doing here? First timer, so you got to be on your best behavior today. You're going to be truly poured in today. We're going to talk about some things I'm sure you're going to be surprised with, but happy nonetheless that you got a little bit of intel to take with you throughout your day today. So here it is. Michael T. Mantzke is the Director of Innovation Development. And since his youth, Michael has maintained a strong passion for technology, innovation, and the impact a simple thought or change in process can have. We're going to read that again. He has maintained a strong passion for technology, innovation, and the impact that a simple thought or change in process can have on not only our daily lives, but the future of humanity. Now, that's a lot. That is a big old piece of legacy right there to remember you're dedicated to each and every day. We're going to talk about that. Now, during Michael's career, he's used his engineering and computer science background to drive change and results in the manufacturing and global supply chain space. Now, in 2007, Michael bit the bullet and founded Global Data Sciences Incorporated. It's a business dedicated to strategy and technology consulting. Now, are you ready? Sit back, grab your coffee, your tea, your green stuff, whatever it is. I'm grabbing mine. Hold on. And before I give you this other little piece, help me welcome to the show my sidekick. She's been here every day for 6 years. This is Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. I opened a new bag. Oh, French vanilla, Dunkin' Donuts brand. Put the Door County down for a while. I got 3 bags of that left. Gonna try this one. And I got a Mr. Coffee cup warmer now that I'm gonna see if it works. Got it for anniversary present. We both got one, Brian and I. So I got it sitting on it, and we'll see if it keeps it warm. But get ready for this. Now you hear that wasn't even half of it. The things I just mentioned about Michael and all his wonderful accomplishments. But listen to this. Here's something you probably didn't expect. Michael was actually born totally blind. That's right, totally blind, with fully developed congenital cataracts in both of his eyes. Today, he is president and CEO, like I said, of Global Data Sciences, Inc., and has a business career that has spanned 35 years. He has a passion for technology and innovation that has been with him since his childhood. And today, that's right, he's considered one of the foremost thought leaders in Okay. Michael, you're in here now. The internet over here. Have you been having trouble with your internet?
Yes.
A couple weeks? Yeah, with Comcast. I put them out there. Yes, it was them. I had to switch over to a hotspot. It completely booted me. And I've got all these boosters here in the house and everything.
Oh, my Lord. Okay.
Do you have Comcast, Michael?
Yes.
Okay, if you write down every time that happens, they give you like 3 hours worth of credit.
I didn't know that.
Yes, and a girl there, when I called, told me how you get through so you don't have to sit on the prompts all day. You just tell them you're ready to disconnect service. They immediately send you to a person, tell them what happened. They'll credit you right then. I got $37 off of last month's $236 bill. So,
whoa.
Yeah, I don't play with them. I mean, they were out a couple weeks ago, until.
No. Oh, my God. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it might just be me. I'm not sure. Isn't technology wonderful? In the event that we're all still alive, I can kind of go ahead and walk through.
Okay. Well, I tried something else. We'll see how it works. I pulled the booster thing over closer. Thank you guys for being so patient. I see what you're putting in the comments. Thank you, Jeanette Ramos. Thanks for hanging in there, you guys. Thank you for that. So listen, because we're going to probably do some starting and stopping. Let's get you started. Tell everybody, okay, I told them where you're at in the world, but tell them where you're at actually, Aurora, all that, and how you got started in this world of technology.
Okay. In essence, you know what? The best place to start with the technology question is I have one invention that I was part of, which I consider that to be my contribution to mankind because my name is on the original patent. All right. And that technology was developed decades ago. And when you walk into a dark room and the lights come on automatically,
Yeah.
I actually was part of the team that invented the technology that made that happen.
So like when you walk into, say, some bathrooms and the lights come on for you and stuff. Really?
Yep, that's me going, hi there.
Wow.
But and that was a very long time ago. But it always just, I can't help but think that when I walk into a room and the lights come on, my brain goes, oh yeah.
I was going to ask you that. So no matter where you're at, you may not even know what's going to happen, but the minute it happens, it takes you back to the moment when the legacy piece found its way.
That is exactly it. Okay. So just a little bit about my background is yes, I was born totally blind. Back in the 1950s, what they would do is in conditions like mine, because they didn't quite know what caused it, is they would take a little tiny needle and they would puncture the cataract material.
Okay. All right.
As an infant, they thought that the body would self-absorb that material, and they were completely wrong. Okay. And there were a lot of cases out there like mine. I had some usable vision, but not very much, maybe 10 to 20% roughly. I got to grade school, and I wound up going to CM Bardwell Grade School on the east side of Aurora, because there was a lady there named Doris Diesotel. She was my teacher, and she managed K1 through K6. And she taught us all how to use things like large type books, magnifiers, that sort of thing.
So was this school, because you said the name, but so was this a school for children with different types of impairments, or blind, or what was?
Well, the school itself was just a regular grade school.
Okay.
And, on the east side of Aurora, and for some reason, Miss Diesotel was allowed to set up a classroom specifically for youth that had vision impairments. Okay. And so we would go to school. We would have access to the tools of the time, and then we would go to regular classes. And that was awesome, because that, I felt that really gave me a good jump start on life as far as learning and so forth goes. And then kind of fast forward into post grade school, where you move into junior high.
Yeah.
The district at the time had absolutely no facilities for anybody with a low vision condition. Nothing. And so it was sink or swim. And so myself and my classmates, we all went to our respective area junior highs. Mine was C.F. Simmons on the east side of Aurora there, and we had to make it work. And the good news is as far as I know, everybody that came out of my group did a really fine job making things work. Considering the fact that back in the day, if you can imagine, we didn't have iPhones or anything like that. All we had were traditional magnifying glasses, maybe. And if we could find a large type book here or there, that's.
Were you wearing glasses?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
I had the real thick glasses back in the day. They called them Coke bottle glasses.
Yes.
And so what was cute was the majority of us had to kind of survive in a bullying environment, okay, because it was pretty easy to get picked on when you're walking around with
sure. That and the headgear, remember that?
Yep, exactly. And it was kind of cute, because one story from my junior high days was people thought it would be funny to take a magic marker and color in the numbers on my locker combination lock. Okay. So, I couldn't see them. Right. Well, little did they know that my sense of touch is phenomenal. So I could just walk up and still open the locker with no problem.
Just know.
Yeah.
So that leads me to my next question, because, we all hear that, okay, well, they say when, a person loses their hearing or their sight, another one of their assets, if you will, increases and kind of takes up some of that space. Did you find that to be true?
Absolutely. Yep.
So what was your strongest sense? Since it wasn't sight, what was it? Touch, taste, smell?
It was kind of a combination of touch and hearing. Okay. And the other thing that, and I think this was a God given gift, was, my ability to kind of use my senses to take in the environment that I was in. Okay. And kind of process, everything that was going on to, basically, keep me focused on learning and my thoughts and ideas and so forth, but also be aware of the environment. And that was a strong thing. I back in those days, there was a phrase I had coined over the years, including kind of when I was getting into business, was that your handicap, okay, or disability is only what you make of it, okay. Meaning, if you're gonna allow that to let you down, okay, that's a problem, okay. Later in life. Okay, I rephrased that, and I basically said, you know what, your handicap or disability is what you allow others to make of it. Because in reality, okay, we are who we are. Okay,
right.
We've gone through various aspects of our life, including in professional career circles. Hey, I wore thick glasses. Okay, and so
Yeah.
even after engineering school and so forth, I still had those thick glasses, doggone it. Okay, and I had a game changing thing occur for me in the let's say I was roughly 35 years old, where I had a detached retina occur, and
I heard about that.
I had to basically have that repaired. And it involved taking out one of those cataracts. They said, never, ever, 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 ever take that out. Well, they did. And I walked outside for the first time in my life, and I could see other objects in the sky than just the moon. Okay.
Really?
And that was very, very touching. That also gave me driving ability, which I really did not have before. And at that point, I pressured the ophthalmologist teams and so forth to go ahead and remove the other cataract, because I was going to be very angry if I got to my 60s and found out I had more vision than, what.
Right.
And I finally was able to get them to do that. It took a while, but once I did, I could again drive at night with the help of some really cool optics that I got from the Spectros Institute for Low Vision up in Wheaton.
Mhm.
And I was able to drive at night. So the neat thing is I was stuck in the middle of nowhere on a project in Kearney, Nebraska. And I got done with my work. It was about 1:00 in the morning. And I took my car and I drove to the middle of nowhere because I wanted to see what the night sky truly looked like. And I drove to the middle of nowhere, got out of the car, stood there, looked up at the sky and went, damn it. Because I thought what I was seeing initially was clouds. Okay. And what it was the stars. I could actually see, pieces of the galaxy, the whole thing that I could have never seen before that.
And this is through both eyes now.
That's through both eyes. Yes.
So let me just ask you, just because it was, I don't know where this question came from, but back then, did they consider, since they felt like, oh, don't touch that cataract, was that considered like an elective surgery?
Yeah. I mean, I had to push them to get it done.
Yeah. And so once they did that, did you change the way they look at this? Like, wow, here's a guy who can see now.
Yes, it did. And people started going back and taking another look at how things work and how your brain processes stuff. And the interesting thing for me was I did have a couple of retinal scans done once the cataracts were removed, because they were never really able to do that because the cataracts were away. And what they discovered was that in both eyes, most of my retina material never developed. Okay, so it's dormant, or I won't use the word dead, but it's dormant. They could And what the cool part about that is they said, okay, so what's happened is, in my particular case, is the good old brain, okay, was able to process what I was able to get in from a light perspective, okay, and allow me to see what I could see. And then once the cataracts were fully removed, again, the brain was given another opportunity to go, well, hey, there's way more out here. And it helped expand that experience. Now, the interesting thing is the retinal material is still dormant. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's the best way I could explain it. But, there's things that I've been able to do, which for me back in the day, I was told I would never be able to do. Mm-hmm. And that, I'd get the pat on the head and, you gotta deal with what you got to deal with. Well, you know what? No, you don't. Okay. It's every day is an opportunity for each of us. And, if you've got a disability and you're having to manage it, you know what? Never let other people tell you that you have to accept where you're at. Okay. And so, you yourself.
In other words.
Yep.
So I don't know. Can you hear that?
I don't hear anything.
Hold on. I'm coming back. I don't know why that's doing that. You don't hear it, so I don't know if you guys do. Let me know. There, it stopped. See what I mean? Okay, let me ask you this, and then we're going to use this as a segue to get into our next piece. Set this up for me, Michael, if you could. You have your hands in so many technological pools, if you will, so many things. But one of the ones that I know from looking around, and you even told me yourself, is that this thing about the global supply chain.
Right.
And I wanted you to kind of tell us, just regular people here, literally in your neighborhood, pretty much, that don't know about all this stuff and how or why it should be important to me or how it affects me, especially with what's going on now with COVID. And I can't say post-COVID because we're still in it. But I want you to break that down for us, if you could, when we return. And we got some video we're going to go into. We're going to come back and let you set that up. Then we're going to watch a little bit and get the questions from the audience. That sound okay?
Perfect.
Okay, now you guys, this is a great time to share the broadcast out. Trust me, you may think supply chain, what's that got to do with me? Every time I hear that, I picture, factories with conveyor belts and things going and big dollies and forklifts carrying things. That's what I think of, but it's a lot more. And we're going to find out a little bit more about that when we return. You guys don't go away. We'll be right back.
It's the Cosmo Sapiens, hosted by the Galaxis Gal and Lauren Michaels Harris.
This is the Galaxis Gal, bringing you the stories of the human beings making space for all of us. Because just like on Earth, in space, humanity should be our business.
Everybody wants to be an astronaut. Every Thursday and Sunday at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. on iRock Space Radio.
All right, welcome back to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Lauren Michaels Harris. Before we get, our guest back in here, who's going to drop it like it's hot when it comes to us understanding where we fit into and how it fits into our daily life, the global supply chain. But before we bring him in, I hope it doesn't affect the delivery of this because I love it. I reach for it every single day. And not just because they pay me. Seriously, I wrote to them because I really believe in this product. V8. I was a Diet Coke drinker every day, 6 bottles a day. And I wanted a better choice. And someone gave me a 6-pack of these because they liked the little cans. It was my father-in-law. And I was like, well, I'll try it. I'm not going to throw it away. And here I am, years later, still drinking V8. Why? 60 calories per can. 2 full servings of vegetables, 100% pure vegetable juice from concentrate, and so easy to find. Simply head down your grocer's juice aisle. You'll find it. I guarantee it. Pop the top and don't say, oops, I could have had a V8. Say, boy, am I glad I had my V8. And there it is. And guess who's back? Mr. Michael. Do you ever drink V8, Michael?
No.
Not even.
I would probably
Bloody Mary.
I would probably disintegrate.
Why? You don't like tomato?
No, it would be healthy for me.
Oh, you look like you're in great shape. You must be doing something right.
Yeah, well, I am, but no,
drinking
V8's never been my thing, but I do know a lot of people that love it.
Well, I used to think it was for old people.
What was that?
I used to think it was for old people.
Oh.
So I guess, hey, there it is. I'm drinking it. So, let's talk about, all these things, like I mentioned V8 and lots of things that play into our everyday lives that are going to or could be drastically affected if things don't go right with the global supply chain. Tell us why you're so passionate about this and what we need to know.
Well, the global supply chain issue is highly vulnerable. Okay, now that COVID has hit and we're starting to see a lot of the effects of that. A good scenario I would use is they ran out of Halloween candy pretty quick. I don't know if everybody's noticed that. Okay. But in addition to that, Home Depot, I'll use them as an example, put their Christmas decorations out almost 2 to 3 weeks ago.
I know.
And there's a reason for that. They ran out of the Halloween items because what they had in inventory for Halloween was left over from last year. And, they basically ran out of that. And what you're seeing on the floor today is Christmas goods that, again, they had a stash from last year. Okay. And, maybe they're able to get a few things in, that sort of thing. But that's kind of the disruption, if you will, on a personal level. You could see that. All right. If we remember going into COVID, there were a lot of people, let's see, there was the shortage on
Toilet paper,
sanitation wipes and toilet paper. Okay, for example. All right. And that turned out to be a little bit of a crisis for people for a while.
Hand wipes and all of that, Lysol, you can get any of that.
But the problem that we've got in today's world is, and I was inspired by this well over a decade ago by a video that was shared with me called The Slender Thread. And in essence, what it does is that video, and you can go ahead and share that in the chat if you'd like.
Okay.
But the video itself really ties everything together and basically says, hey, look, if there's a disruption anywhere in the supply chain, it's going to impact everybody globally. And that is exactly what we're seeing today. And the downside to that is we're seeing shortages in various types of food. We're seeing our prices go up for various types of meat and so forth. Okay.
Yeah.
And you step back and you go, well, wait a minute. I thought all that stuff was grown here. Some of it is,
but no.
Some of it's not. And there are indeed items that are now sitting, basically off ports of call here in the United States, waiting to get delivered. That Lord only knows when they'll finally unload the ships, sort of thing.
So this is really, really going on. And I'm gonna just bring out a couple things that I know, and you guys think about the conversations you've had or overheard over the last year or so. I have a sponsor that's a local restaurant, and back when they started with me 3 years ago, their big thing was Monday and Tuesday, those rib specials. They haven't had them in over a year because they said we're going to pull that. They had to close a certain day because they didn't have enough food in. I thought they just wanted time off. No, they said our supply or supplies for certain things make it impossible for us to go 7 days a week now. We just don't have it. So that's one thing. And then I heard this. Tell me what you know about this. Just last week, somebody called me who's on the road in a political faction or, moving around on a tour and said to me, hey, I love you and Brian. I want you guys to be prepared, but I forget the date. You think I would have written it down. Coming up in the next couple weeks, here in November, they said, I think it was around the 8th. I could be wrong. They said, make sure you have plenty of food because there's like some people going to walk off the job or something. Supply chain people, truckers or storage places or something. Do you know anything about that? So how weak, how fragile, how affected is our supply chain? And do you see, just in your own opinion, I know you don't want to put stuff out there and be the one who said, the aliens are coming and everybody goes, like in that radio show years ago. But what do you feel? How is this affecting what you're doing and buying and not buying in your life, this supply chain stuff that we're hearing about?
Well, without giving a lot of detail away, okay, a large part of my customers are, basically being held hostage by supply chain because they have everything from finished goods that they have manufactured offshore that they bring in while the stuff's not coming in right now, okay, or raw materials that they use to make their finished goods as well. They're stuck because there's no way to get them here. Because again, we only had a limited amount of channels set up to move materials from one place to another.
Right.
And that message has been out there for a long time. And unfortunately, I see the problem as getting worse. I would say over the next couple of months, I do believe it'll finally normalize and then start getting better by possibly springtime. But right now, with all the challenges that we've got on a global level, and the fact that COVID is still out there, and what frustrates the heck out of me,
right,
is the COVID situation itself. Okay, has been politicized on all sides. Right, and I step back and I go, it is real, doggone it. Okay, and it's not going anywhere soon.
No.
It will. I mean, I believe it. Everything is going to eventually normalize. But back to supply chain, right? If another wave of COVID hits, for example, and I'm talking about offshore in other countries outside the United States, that's going to impact, again, supply chain, because we have locked ourselves down to only a couple of really significant sources for materials. And we need to step back, take a look at that, make sure that we build that into our business processes and so forth, go forward. Because if we don't do that, we're going to be in some serious trouble the next round, if you will.
When you say we, who do you mean?
Well, I'm talking about business
Country,
leaders.
United States, us, individual. Who do you mean?
It needs to be a global. It really needs to be a global consideration.
The world. Okay.
And one of the things that I'm very passionate about, because I've gotten involved in this in the recent years, is the movements that are really trying to basically get everybody to pay attention to space. And you hear a lot about billionaires in space and so forth. It is way deeper than that. If we look at our culture, okay, which if you go back to the beginning of mankind, if you will, okay, being explorers is in our heads, and also
natural.
It's natural, okay, and I do believe that in the decades to come, we're going to be mining on the moon or bringing asteroids back to Earth to harvest the materials, that sort of thing. Well, that's all great from a science perspective, but also we have to be able to sustain those people that are going to be working those jobs.
Yeah.
That are not here on Earth. And I think all that's been really taken for granted because of the buzz that you see out there with getting folks in orbit for 5 minutes or whatever. This is way broader than that. And I think the time is now, because COVID, if anything, COVID taught us a lesson, and we can either learn from it, okay, and prosper, go forward,
right,
and make some changes, or we can just sit in the corner and wait for the next wave to happen.
So let me ask you something really quick before we get away from that intersection too far. A lot of you are out there thinking it, because I am. I'm like, wait a minute. He said the next couple months. That's the holiday season. What do you think what's the mindset, Michael, you would suggest we adapt as consumers going into the online shopping section of the year? Because the thing is, I know when those ads pop up that if it's not Amazon Prime, I'm probably not going to get it for 3 to 4 months anyway. That was before COVID, and now during COVID, I have stuff that I forgot I ordered because it was 6-7 months ago. So what do you suggest people should do this year? Because I've gotten used to, especially with COVID, I wasn't trying to go to the malls and stuff. If there was any place to go last year. This year, what do you think the trend's going to be? More hands-on because we need it now and we want it in time for the holidays? Or are people still going to risk it and maybe get caught up in that spider web known as the supply chain?
That's a good question, okay? Because I keep I've heard two phrases which drive me nuts. One is the new normal. Okay, well, okay, pardon me. All right, it's as normal as we want to make it. Right, it's back to my thing about my handicap. Okay, it's what I allow others to make of it. All right, okay, and with the holidays coming up and so forth, and all the debates about masks and vaccination and going places and so, you know what? At the end of the day, we got to make sure we have food on the table, okay, and we have to make sure that we've got the right resources to sustain our families, okay, and so forth. And I think that there's no easy answer to just saying, okay, you could do this and that. Okay, it's a somewhat of a complex environment right now, and I think that what we need to do is make sure we get through the holiday season. Okay.
Yeah.
And I believe that I'm thinking like January, February timeframe, things will begin to normalize, which would be good. All right.
We're gonna tell us now. And you're going to guide us through this and tell us. It's a 6-minute video. We're not going to watch the whole thing.
No, we're not. It's just I would. Okay, this particular video here.
Yeah.
Was given to me back in 2005. Okay. And it's very inspirational because it outlines exactly the problem we're having today.
Okay.
And I would go ahead and just kind of start it, and then.
Globalization is a slender thread spun of equal parts trust and reliability. Today, globalization's reach is boundless, from everywhere to everywhere, a force that drives the global economy to levels of all but unstoppable growth. Never beginning, never ending, the thread of trade belongs to everyone and to no one. In a world of borderless nations and global enterprises, it is a story of unprecedented growth and connections that are forever changing. Any product can produce a new thread, in effect, a new supply chain with new players and a new route, and a very new set of risks. A sweatshirt, for example, might start with oil from the Middle East. The oil is shipped to West Virginia, where it is made into synthetic fibers. Honduran weavers turn the fibers into fabric, which is then sent to China for cutting and sewing. Done. Sweatshirts made and shipped around the world. But what if one of those locations, say the Middle East with ethnic insurgents, or China with SARS, shuts down or can't deliver? How fast can we change to Plan B? Do we have a Plan B?
There you go.
How old
Today,
is this,
the world
Michael?
has never had
That's
more
good.
to win, nor more to lose. In fact, our hyper-connected, hyper-dependent
Okay.
world has spawned a new form of risk.
We can stop
The
here.
risk of
Yeah. How old did you say this video is?
I was given that in like 2005.
Okay. Tell us what we just looked at. What lens were they looking through then when they created it? And how different, if any, is that lens today?
Okay, so the lens they were looking through back then is somebody had the foresight to basically analyze globalization, analyze the supply chain, and say, hey, here's some critical points of failure. We need to, we've identified some. There's going to be more with the changes in globalization, politics, and so forth. We have to be aware of all that. Okay, because in that and in that shirt scenario that they had pointed out. Okay, what happens if? And nobody took that seriously. Okay, so we just lived through exactly that scenario. We're living it right now today. Okay,
Exactly.
the supply chain became disrupted, and here we are. And what is the
where I want to go?
Huh?
Here's what I want to ask you about.
Sure.
I know a lot of us feel duped. I know I did. I was like, oh, I'm so glad this is temporary. I'm talking about when the ships got stuck. Remember with the gas? And the gas shot way up, and it's still there. And I was like, wait a minute. That ship, all that stuff was fixed, I thought. Things were moving again. Remember back on the East Coast, people couldn't find gas stations? I had people that were traveling that I knew. They were like, we couldn't find a gas station for 3 states, that sort of thing. Why is it that the gas prices are these power moves, Michael?
There could be a lot of reasons for that. Okay.
Okay. Be careful what you say, because we don't want a black van pulling up in front of your house.
No. And I'm going to be, kind of careful with that. But there are a lot of reasons for that. Okay. But fuel aside, okay, if you go to Jewel and you find out that 60% of their shelves are bare, which could happen.
Yes.
That's what I'm afraid of. Okay. Fuel, yes, fuel's one thing, and yes, I do believe that aspects of it are politicized, okay, by all sides. And I think this is where globally we do need to step back, take a look, and go, okay, time out. We need to fix this type of problem so it doesn't happen again. Okay, we need to have everybody on board, and this includes manufacturers as well as the sales channels, as the Home Depots and Walmarts of the world, if you will.
Absolutely.
Everybody needs to be on. What I do admire about some retailers is, particularly during, I'll use hurricane season as an example. All right, Walmart does a fantastic job of handling deliverables to states that could be impacted by hurricanes, and they have fantastic processes to move all that stuff around.
Yes, they do. Yes, they
Which
do.
is just awesome. Okay. However, all right, unfortunately, they're being impacted by the supply chain crisis we have right now, which is outside of their ability to directly manage, because unfortunately they're at the beck and call of others that control the process, i.e. the suppliers that supply the materials to Walmart for sale. This is fixable, by the way. It is fixable.
It's fixable. But before we go into that real quick, I just want to ask you, how much of this do you think we're affecting? When I say we, the working force, because you hear a lot, we can't get anybody to go to work. It's only drive-through because we don't have people to work the windows at restaurants and things like this. People now are demanding more money, better pay, this and the other. And then to combine that, you've got people who are telling you, well, you're not going to keep your job if you don't get vaccinated. There's all these things flying in from all different directions, which are directly or indirectly affecting the supply chain. What, if anything, how do you feel, because I consider you an expert in this. You've been seeing it before we did. What about, what would your top 3 hard predictions be for hard to acquire goods? What things, like we saw what happened with gas, what things do you foresee coming in over the next 2 or 3 months that you mentioned as going to be, if you can get your hands on it?
I would say food items. Again, things like
non-perishables.
Right. I would try to, get my hands on, and I'm not trying to incite a panic or anything.
Exactly.
Like that. But I do think that it would be good to have some things on hand just in case. Stock up on Kind bars, for crying out loud. But no, and I do think things will normalize regarding the current supply chain structure, because there's shiploads of material waiting to be unloaded at the ports. I'm using that as an example. So now there's this blockage where there are goods which could come onshore. Okay, but there's that domino effect, if you will, of everything from folks working on the ships to truck drivers to people operating the cranes and all those things. Those have to be fixed. And in order, for the supply chain, the current supply chain, to basically resume to full throttle, all that stuff has to be fixed. And it's that time of year. It's the end of the year. The holiday season is approaching, and I think that we've got an opportunity to kind of step back, take a look, and go, hey, how can we fix the current situation, and how do we prevent this from happening again?
Take us into that piece. What do you feel? What do you feel needs to happen? And are we at the mercy of people that we don't have access to? Do we have to just sit here and wait on what they do? Or is there something we can do to put some type of, have some type of iron in the fire?
Well, I would do this. Okay, we do need a plan B. Okay, and I think that we've got to have it. And that plan B, however we develop and so forth, has to be something that we can carry forward for generations to come. Okay, including those that'll be working off-world for us. I'll use that as an example. All right, we have to do that. Okay, have to have a plan B. How do you get there? That's the key. And one of my issues is it's one thing. It's one thing for somebody to tell people what they want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
It's another thing for us to tell people what they need to hear. Okay.
Hallelujah.
And that to me, okay, unfortunately, it has to extend to those, the executives, the C-level folks. Okay, I'm in the process of writing a paper, which has taken me a while to get there, but I hope I'll have it done in the next couple of months. Arrogance versus ignorance. Okay, because that's an interesting argument. But in addition to that, there is the political side. Okay. And I know we've got some folks that are outside the U.S. on this particular session, but within the United States, hey, you know what? We need to hold people accountable, okay, Just don't accept, our situation, okay, is what we allow others to make of it. And we need to step back and say, hey, we're not going to allow this. Here's some things that need to be done. And we put it out there to those in charge and say, hey, you got to do something. It's all fixable, by the way. I don't see one single thing that has been presented, which is a situation that could not be repaired or corrected.
So when you say it, you see it as being fixable, Michael. I get that, but then let's talk about how that affects fixable here on planet Earth. But I know a lot of people that I've met recently, that have a finger or a foot or a hand inside the space world, even like yourself, are really vested in not repeating the same mistakes as we build out as far as moving into the space arena. Talk about that for a minute, because a lot of people don't understand how could that have anything to do with us?
Oh, it will. And there's a lot of people that say, hey, why are we going to space? We need to just stop here and take care of it.
We got too many problems here on Earth. What the hell are we doing out there?
Well, correct. Okay, and we do have too many problems here on Earth. Okay, and when we move into space, we're going to take a lot of those problems with us. All right, but from a resources perspective, and also expanding humanity, the exploration in us, as well as being able to tap some resources that we don't have right now. Okay, it is really the only place we have to go. And when we look at it and here's kind of the cool thing. I think that one of the groups I'm involved in is looking at setting up these global scout camps, if you will, okay, where they could train youth in everything from chemistry to farming to technology, but globally, okay, with the inspiration being going into space. Right. And I think that that's actually awesome. And I look at that, and one of the things I cherish is I think about the person walking down a dirt road in the middle of nowhere who finds a piece of metal and says, hey, I wonder what I could do with that. And then bingo, they've got an idea in their head, and they need a place to take that thought or idea and make it work. I think space is inspirational in that regard. Okay, someone could come up with the next thing to turn the lights on automatically when you walk into a room.
Right. So what is it you see? And on the screen, I have something from your website. Tell us about your company, and tell us a little bit about these different categories that you are involved in. And I mean, just pick whatever you know.
Okay.
Right. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying no. I thought you were shaking.
No, I'm good. No, I'm good. I want to just be clear. I wasn't as much making this about my company as.
No, I know. But, we just want people. We're getting near the end of it, and I just want people to see what you're doing, because you get, like I already said, you get so many things going that I just wanted them to know what to expect if they want to continue.
I think I can simplify this whole thing.
Okay.
I'm sure that everybody has heard the term machine learning. Okay, it's a phrase that kind of grew out of artificial intelligence. Okay, and machine learning is it's a buzz phrase everybody's using for kind of the next round of tech stuff. All right,
really.
Well, at the end of the day, okay, and this is a question for everybody on this call. When you sit back and you think about it, who are the machines? All right, us. We're the ones that started. We're the ones that control the processes. We're the machines, if you will, that can learn from our mistakes and choose whether or not to do something about it. So a large part of what we do is information gathering and analytics on the manufacturing side. We do that for some pretty large folks globally. Okay, but in addition to that, we do take a look at processes and so forth. And companies may think. We'll get called into a situation where somebody thinks, "Oh my God, we have to completely wipe out our computer system that we've had for decades now." Okay, well, you go in and you take a look at it and you say, "Well, that's kind of a neat idea." Yes, because there's more stuff you could. However, you need to take a look at these processes before you do that. All right, within your own structure, what are you doing? Why? How much are these things costing you? Okay, what is the benefit to your customers? When when you make changes like this. And that's key to what we do. On the cybersecurity side, we do penetration testing, but in addition to that, we offer encryption services at a level I won't bore everybody with. But
I'm sure it's like away.
So, it's that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, the thing to remember is we have it here, okay, and here in our hearts, okay, to take all the lessons that are being presented to us today, okay, and kind of step back, take a look at that, and go, hey, how could we stop that from happening again? And nobody should ever just give up. Trust me, don't do that. but things, I believe that, in January, February timeframe, we'll kind of see a little bit of a normalization, if you will.
Okay.
But I don't think that's the end of it. I think that we really need to push for that plan B. And we've got to be.
That's something you keep bringing up, that plan B.
Yeah.
Do you think people are listening out there when you mention that in your circles? Are they listening, Michael?
It's interesting. Yes, they hear the message, but I don't believe that they quite understand. Because a lot of people say, well, it's going to get better. The ships will dock, the stuff will get unloaded, we'll be good. Okay, true. All right. But it will happen again. And I don't think that people are embracing that the way that they should. That's my opinion, though.
I agree. But you know what? Conversations like these, they truly are illuminated. And I can't thank you enough for coming down here with us mere mortals and breaking it down somewhat for us seriously. Because a lot of us don't have access to a Michael Mantzke. We just don't. And we don't travel in those circles. We're not at those summits. We're not listening to those panels. But when we find people like you, and on the bottom of your screen is Michael's LinkedIn information. I've also taken the liberty of dropping it inside the comment section. So you can get over there, and if you have questions or things, comments, whatever, reach out. I'm sure Michael will be happy to assist you in any way he can. And there's lots of stuff over, as you saw, on the website. So you can find all that information and more. Just follow the link. So in conclusion, I want to ask you the final question. This is your Jerry Springer moment, Michael. Your final thought. Let's say 50 years from now, knowing what you know and about the supply chain, and when you were saying bringing things from Mars, an asteroid or something, and mining from it, what would your hopes be for that mindset? What would you like to believe the world here on Earth would be doing better 50 years from now, based on the things that you're seeing get started today?
Well, I would hope that globally, there's more of an awareness that we are a civilization. Okay.
Yes.
A collective of minds, hearts, nations, and so forth. Okay. The one thing too, though, that we have to acknowledge, and this is critical, is we can never, ever, 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 nor should we, even 50 years from now, assume similarity in personalities as well as people and cultures that we're dealing with. Okay, because everybody does have their own idea of looking at things, and it's important to acknowledge the fact that certain folks might not quite see it your way. All right, now it's up to you to notice that, and if you can find the right way to present the idea so they do understand, great. Okay, but there will be people that won't, and it doesn't make them bad. Okay, it just means that we need to acknowledge that.
We need more. We just need to have more conversations to make things relevant that are being dropped between the cushions, thrown in the junk drawers of life.
There you go.
I agree. And I thank you so much. Listen, on a scale, last thing, on a scale of 1 to 10, and 10 being a great chance of it happening, how do you feel about us actually getting to that plan B? Think it's possible?
I do think it's possible.
Probable?
Probability is a little bit different. Okay. But I think that I would say that the next 2 to 3 years would really tell us how things are going to go. Okay.
There you go. Well, with people like you, eye on the prize, eagle eye Flegel, all of that and more, I feel pretty darn good that we have a great chance. So I thank you so very much for coming in today and pouring into us here. And I thank you all as well for showing up, because every day that we fulfill that promise that we're 2 or more of us with the same mindset get together. there's going to be something great coming out the other side. Tomorrow's no different. God willing, I'll be out on the front porch waiting for you at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Tomorrow, our guest is a Chicago physician, Dr. Gary Buchner. Wait till you hear the work he's doing to eradicate, believe it or not, butt cancer. That's right. Hey, it got Farrah Fawcett. Who'd have ever thought that, right? It is something we need to have the discussion about, and it starts tomorrow morning. So, God willing, I'll see you out front. In the meantime, get out there. Find that one E and that one R. Take whatever you're doing, whoever you are, take it from nice to nicer, kind to kinder, broad to broader, strong to stronger, right? Thank you so much
for the opportunity. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you for stepping up like you did. Did Anara ask you about coming on our iHeartRadio show yet?
No, she has not.
Oh, then that's going to happen. That's going to happen because this is really important. This is really important. That cog in the wheel stops everything.
You know, what was funny is Anara reached out to me last night.
Mm-hmm.
And just
no,
I could make
I was
this.
on the phone while she was doing it with her. I was on the phone and she was reaching out to you on computer.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, in real time, right?
And Anara's in Germany.
Right.
Yeah. So that was kind of neat.
Yeah,
so.
that was great. It was meant to be, and I really thank you. This is I'm going to extend to you what I refer to as the turnstile guest opportunity, which means all you got to do is let us know you want to come back, and the time is yours. I guarantee it. You guys get out today and be the best you can be. Leave everyone and every situation you encounter just a little bit better than the way you found it. Do that, and we'll be living in the world that we all deserve. I'll see you tomorrow morning for our next episode of Bathrobe Moments. Bye-bye, y'all.
Bye.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul.